So let's turn this off. I'm going to talk about hoods real quick. So this requires a little bit of imagination to think about how the hood is constructed. Because like medieval hoods have like this, they're like sewn in a, I'll bring up a reference. Bear with me. Let's see, historical. This is where it becomes important to go and do your visual language study and actually look at real references, right? Look at the actual construction of these things. So, let's see one. Like look up like historical cloaks, right? And look at how they're actually constructed, because how they're constructed will tell you how the clothing should be drawn. So for instance, here's an old cloak that tells you how it should sit, right? The peak that you're talking about would probably be that the hood itself has a stitch down the center, causing a little kind of bit at the back before the hood goes down, right? That's where this probably comes from, because it really comes down like how the fabric is constructed. I said this already, but I'll say it again. How the fabric is constructed dictates how the fabric will sit, right? So if I have like two pieces of fabric that are like this shape, right? And I sew them together, there's gonna be a little bit of nipple in the back, right? That's where that would come from. But most hoods don't really do that, because they're like a single piece of clothing that will just sit over the back of the head. Right, so let's turn that off. Right, if I have my human head, right, here's an ear, nose, whatever. That clothing is going to drape over the head, right? That's how most hoods work. And then any excess cloth is going to just kind of slump along the back, right? Like if I have the head from the side. You gotta remember that it's going to be like, there's a tension point here, right? And it's going to create these kind of ribs if there's a lot of excess. And then the clothing is going to want to do that, right? It's going to just kind of hang off, and then it's going to have excess builds and clumps here, right? You can see over here, it's doing that, or like it's compressing here while draping off the head, right? So these nipples are not actually super common in hoods. They're sort of a art idiosyncrasy, because they're just kind of, people want a little nipple on the hood, but most hoods don't actually do that because they're just not made that way. So at that point, you have to make a decision, like, are we going to do a little point on the hood? Because it's kind of fun. Because some do that, right? Some have that. Like, for instance, here's an example right here where you could do this style of hood very, very easily. But what happens is the fabric, instead of being a single piece that drapes over the head, it is sewn as a cone, right? So in that instance, here, let's move this over. This is a great idea for a lesson. A little sub-lesson here on hoods. Moving stuff around. Get rid of that. In the case of this this one here, on the left that I just slapped in, I hear things booping, so let's look at that before I continue. He's a druid. Yeah, so, well, that gets into, like, thinking about what kind of hood the character would actually have, if they're just some wood druid. Okay. But if you want the pointed one, what's happening here is the fabric has been, it's probably like sewn in the back, right? If we look at it from the back, where it's been closed around like this and stitched here. So then you get a little point at the top, right? It makes this into a cone. And then that connects to the hood, and so then you get this piece here will drape down over the head, right? So this is our head. The hood is going to sit across, and then the point is going to hang down. And then we're going to get compression here, right? See? That's where that point comes from. You see the compression there? Let me get this compression because it's just kind of hanging down. You see now? That's where, like, and so then the length of this depends on the length of the fabric. Like, it could be a smaller one, depending on how you want to do this, right? You could decide to make a small cone, right? That just depends on how much excess fabric there is. Does that make sense for the hood now? Looks like they're having a little stare-off with hoods.
I'm from the round hood gang, go to hell. I'm from the pointy hood gang, you go to hell. That's it. Sword fight. You know damn well this is round hood territory, pointy hood.
Yeah. So that's hoods. Back to your stuff here. Are you part of the pointy hood or the round hood gang?